I guess.
So what I'm seeing here is, I guess you're okay. So you've done that. I guess I'm seeing, just kind of we're in the same sort of spot, more or less here. Yeah. Um, okay. Well, let's work on that essay and
Okay.
figure out where to go from there. All right. Let me go ahead and share that screen. All right. Overall, the book has better character development of Wendy, Danny, and Dick, providing more sympathy for them as a result of Jack's destruction. Wendy's character is an anxious and loving woman. The reason why she's always so anxious is because the incident when Jack broke Danny's arm, he became overprotective of him. At the Overlook Hotel, if anything happened to Danny, she would do her best to calm him down and try to cheer him up. When Jack became insane, Wendy tried to fend him off by using a baseball bat. It worked since she hit Jack in the leg and ran out to find Danny to protect him. Danny's creative character is imaginary friend named Tony. Danny also has this unique call called the Shining, which gives him a telepathic power to communicate with him, and he was in danger. Danny's also a little mature. He messed up Jack's papers and spilled coffee. All right. So we want to be we we, we got to be careful that we're not giving too much uh book report. We need to talk more about how it's different than the movie, potentially.
Right.
Um, I don't know that I remember how the movie portrays Wendy, but that would be something to consider. Um, and then I think you said you wanted to add some more words here about Dick. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we can start anywhere you'd like, but I do think that this reads a little bit too much like a book report, movie review. We want to always go back to comparing it to the the movie as an example. Um, like before before we talk about Danny here, like maybe you should add a sentence that talks about, how Wendy is portrayed differently in the
All
book
right.
compared to the movie.
All right. Let me just look at there we go. Give me a second. I just need to grab my shining book. There it is. Just in case if I need it for extra information. All right. So you want me to write about Wendy in the movie, right? Like how she's portrayed.
No, we want to talk about differences. I mean, we're saying that there's better development in the book. Um, does the movie really give sympathy for her,
Hmm.
or doesn't it? I mean, these are questions for you to answer and think about.
All right, here's what I wrote for Wendy. It's not a lot, but it was all I could think of.
That's good. That first part there where you say she doesn't have much personality. I mean, that's important here. She mostly screams in the movie and is loving mother for Danny. Book she devoted life even when she's still very protected. Good. So that's actually a good transition. And while you were writing, I was thinking that we probably ought to split these up into two paragraphs. Um, one of the things I think that really we probably should have given more information about at some point was this whole the Shining thing. So I think you need a sentence or two here about the Shining part and the communication with Dick. Uh, and then after you do that, I think we've got to add in like how he is portrayed, kind of the same question, how he's portrayed in the movie compared to the book. So really less, we're gonna just, I recommend us just putting information about Dick into into this sentence here, The Shining. But then add in some stuff here about how it compares to the book. But more focus on Danny here, because he's an important character. Is it
All
clear what I'm
right.
asking you to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just separate this out a little bit.
All right, here's what I wrote.
Okay, let's take a look here. All right, so we're trying to keep from really just giving a really lengthy just description of what's going on here. Um, yeah, this is all good. We still have to emphasize somewhere, you know, why like how he's portrayed in the book compared to the movie. Um, oops, I don't want that. Um, that's not what I want either. Okay, so that's can you give me one or two sentences here where you just talk about how he's portrayed in the about why the book is better than the movie in terms of how they portray Danny is portrayed. You know,
Oh yeah.
okay, just like you did for Wendy, you did a good job with that. Talking about Wendy was being portrayed as being immature. We
Okay.
want the same kind of thing for Danny.
Okay, sure. You want me to talk about Danny? Just write just one more
Yeah, we
time.
we want to explain how Danny is portrayed like better or worse, in the book, and probably better in the book compared to the movie. We're always drawing a comparison back to like which is better and why.
Okay, here's what I wrote for Danny.
Okay. This is in the movie.
It's both the movie and the book.
Okay. As you say here, Danny is portrayed as an ordinary boy. Is
Yeah,
that in the book or the movie?
that's in the
Okay.
movie.
Okay, on
Then,
the book it was
yeah.
right. So the see where we're going with this. Okay. All right. So I do feel like there's probably too much it's usually a pair back here. Let's just start from the beginning and see what we can do to make this get really close to being finished. So sometimes it's just good to read it out loud. Um, just we haven't looked at it in a couple of days, so we'll do that now. The Shining by Stephen King is a horror novel about a family of three moving to the Overlook Hotel as caretakers for the winter. The book was adopted into a movie by Stanley Kubrick, and both are considered cult classics by those who follow dark horror. The book is better because it gives a more comprehensive account of the transition of Jack's character development of being normal to becoming insane, but the movie is scarier to watch because it has visual effects and sound to accompany horrific scenes. Overall, the book has better character development of wife Wendy, son Danny, and telepath Dick, providing more sympathy for them as a result of Jack's destruction. So as we read the next few paragraphs, we want to make sure that it ties back to what we said here, which is that the book gives a better transition of Jack's character. The movie has better visual effects and sound and better character development of the book for this Wendy and Danny, giving them more sympathy. All right, so let's take a look here. The book gives a more comprehensive account of the transition of Jack from normal to insane. At the start of the book, Jack was just a normal guy who would try his best to be there for his son Danny. He also was trying to remain sober after alcohol was the trigger for an incident where he broke his son's arm after finding out he had spilled coffee on his papers. When he got the job at the Overlook Hotel, he was hoping that he would be able to reconnect with his family and start writing a book. All right. The movie indicates that Jack was never normal, is always angry, and doesn't like his family. The book shows he actually was normal and did care about his wife and son. Furthermore, everything is going well at the hotel until Jack is starting to go insane from being in the hotel for too long and wants to murder his family. Okay. Anything in there that you would like to change or anything that you feel like is awkward?
No, I think it's good.
Okay. All right. So the next paragraph here, it says the movier is scarier to watch. That's kind of redundant here. The movie is scarier compared to reading the book due to the visual effects and sound that accompany the most horrific scenes. When they moved into the Overlook Hotel, his frustration, being sober, and being in isolation caused him to go insane. Uh, so we probably had to reset that. That's Jack's frustration. Uh, was he frustrated with being sober?
Yeah, he was
Or
frustrated with being sober.
being sober and being in isolation caused him to go insane. In the movie, there's a scene where a waterfall of blood starts rushing out of the elevator. The music and the visual effects would make anyone watching feel creepy and might even give them goosebumps. Okay. Another traumatic scene in the movie is centered on room 217. Let's put a period there. Uh, in the room or in the bathtub or in the room, a very old lady is found naked in a bathtub that was presumably dead. But as Danny started to leave the room, she got out of the bathtub and started walking towards him. Anyone watching this would get the shivers. The book doesn't give the exact same feeling of being uncomfortable or getting shivers. The book describes the scenes, but leaves out the depth of horror up to the imagination of the reader. The old caretaker Grady killed himself in the Overlook Hotel because of insanity after killing his family and was the main reason why Jack went insane. Is that's in both, or is that
Um, yeah, it's both.
further adding to the movie being much scarier than the book? Let's say we're always kind of making that comparison, whether one is better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Overall, the book has better character development of Wendy, Danny, and Dick, providing more sympathy for them as a result of Jack's destruction. Wendy's character is an anxious and loving um, it, woman. The reason why she's always so anxious is because of the incident when Jack broke Danny's arm, and as a result, she became very protective of him. At the Overlook Hotel, if anything happened to Danny, finding a comma in there, she would do her best to, always going back here, she'd do her best to calm him down and try to cheer him up. When Jack became insane, Wendy tried to fend him off by using a baseball bat. Uh, let's see here. We have to, and it worked since she hit Jack in the leg and ran off to find Danny to protect him. In the movie, Wendy doesn't have as much personality. She mostly screams in the movie and is the loving mother for Danny. While in the book, she's a devoted wife who loves Jack, even when he tries to kill her and Danny. She's also very protective of Danny. Okay. Danny is a creative character who has an imaginary friend named Twins. So we need to talk about we basically need to continue with another topic sentence here. We need to say that the book also develops Danny as a character more fully than in the movie. Danny is a creative character who has an imaginary friend named Tony. Danny also has the unique gift called the Shining, which gives him telepathic powers to communicate with him when he is in danger. When Danny first arrives at the Overlook Hotel, he meets the chef there named Dick. Dick wants to take Danny to Florida since he thinks it isn't a good idea for him to stay. When Dick is getting ready to go to the airport, he asks Danny if they can talk in private. They both walk to Dick's car and sit in the front seat. While there, Dick tells Danny he's a very unique kid since he has something called the Shining. Danny decides to use the Shining, and that's how he's able to communicate with Dick through his mind. Danny is portrayed as an ordinary boy with physical powers and being immature. Uh, However, in the movie, Danny is portrayed as an ordinary boy with physical powers and being immature. In the book, it mentions how he is attached to his father, knows a big vocabulary. He is a loving kid, immature because of his invisible friend Tony, and because of his physical powers, he's able to receive and process thoughts and emotions of people. Okay. All right. So now to the conclusion. I'm looking just to see if you already wrote anything about it. All right. So the conclusion is very simply restating your thesis. So let's go grab your thesis. So here is your thesis. It would be good to try to restate this. That would be thing one
Right.
to try to do. Second thing here is to go back to your essay and figure out like your best points. Like as I was reading that, which which points do you feel like were the strongest about convincing the reader that the book is better than the movie?
Hmm. Wait, hold on. What points are makes the book better than the movie.
Yeah, like as I was reading through that, which points, there's a lot there, but which feels like was the best like reason that the book is better than the movie. That might be easier for you to do first.
Oh, the book is better than the movie because it describes. Actually, I should instead of talking, I should just type it down.
Yes, but we don't want to re-summarize we don't want to repeat what you wrote. You want to try to just pick the best points and try to make them short and sweet.
Okay.
So do the best you can there. Just give me something and we'll talk about it.
I don't know what else to write, but I'm just gonna send you what I wrote about how the book is better.
Okay. Okay, so what you wrote here could be used to restate your thesis. I think that that's a good
Um,
start. But what I was asking, what I thought would be easier to do is like what are the best points from your essay? Like what do you feel like is the strongest argument for why, one is better than the other?
hmm.
Like when you're reading through it here, like what do you feel like is a better, like imagine someone just read the conclusion. Why would they think the book was better? That's what you're trying to explain. And they've already read your essay, so I mean you don't have to give it any detail. You just have to say like which one is the best reason or the point.
All right, let me try to rewrite that.
You don't have to rewrite what you have is perfect. What you have is what I'm looking is like it's like if I watched your skating performance and I already watched it, so everyone knows what you did, and I would say like the turn you made at minute two was the best, and then the spin you did after the first thing, like that's what you don't have to be drawn out. You could just be really short and to the point about the best stuff.
Got it.
And we are, I mean, we are, coming up here on the end of the lesson. So if you don't feel like you can get anything down, I mean, just hold the thought.
I'll hold the thought until like the next session,
Okay,
maybe.
so let's just stop here and we'll just start back in 10, 12 minutes and